And with every mistake, her frustration only grew. However, while Reese was losing her composure, Collier was playing the best game of the night. She stayed locked in, made smart plays, and led her team with quiet confidence. She didn't need to talk trash. The buzzer sounded, the game was over. And Angel Reese? She walked off the court in silence, knowing she had just put up one of the worst performances of her career. But the humiliation didn't stop there, because while Reese was sulking in the locker room, social media was absolutely roasting her. Immediately after the game, clips of Reese's blunders went viral. The air ball, the fumbled layup, the reckless fouls. Every mistake was being replayed on a loop, with fans and analysts calling her out for one of the worst performances they had ever seen. But the worst part?
Her Owls crushed the Rose BC, and Angel, well, she did some rather interesting things on the court. And Napheesa Collier, well, look now, one thing we could say, they are not afraid of Angel Reese and the Rose BC, because after hitting the game-winning shot, Napheesa had some real words towards Angel Reese.
From the opening tip, Reese was bumping, shoving, and jawing at Collier, trying to get inside her head, but instead of rattling her opponent, all Reese did was fuel Collier's fire. And when the moment came for payback, Collier didn't just respond, she completely humiliated Reese in front of everyone. Reese looked stunned, and in that moment, it was clear this wasn't just a bad game, this was an embarrassment. By the time the second half rolled around, it was clear Angel Reese was unraveling in real time. Every mistake, every bad shot, and every reckless foul added up, turning what should have been a competitive game into a full-blown disaster. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it did. With her team desperately trying to mount a comeback, Reese tried to take matters into her own hands. But instead of making smart plays, she forced shot after shot, leading to even more turnovers. At one point, she drove into the paint, threw up an off-balance floater, and watched as it clanked off the rim. The moment was so bad, the commentators barely knew how to react. Fans online wasted no time clowning her for the blunder, with clips of the airball spreading across social media in minutes. However, the real damage wasn't just in the numbers. It was in the way Reese carried herself. The constant complaining, the frustrated body language, the refusal to take accountability. In her basketball, she kept trying to force things, making one bad play after another. And then, the final dagger, Napheesa Collier's game winner. After dealing with Reese's antics all night, Collier got the last laugh. With the game on the line, she calmly sank a clutch shot, sealing the victory.
Angel was 8 for 16 for 17 points, 10 boards last night, 7 damn turnovers. Napheesa Collier right here, 7 of 16. She had 16 points, 9 rebounds.
Reese's overconfidence led her to take wild, out-of-control shots that had no chance of going in. At one point, she grabbed an offensive rebound, had an open look right under the basket, and completely bricked the layup. Instead of getting back on defense, she turned to the refs, complaining as if they were the reason for her miss. Therefore, while Reese was too busy arguing with officials, Napheesa Collier and her team were focused on actually playing basketball.
What the do you mean forget them?
Fans wasted no time replaying the moment over and over again, calling it one of the worst sequences they'd ever seen from a so-called star player. And, to make matters worse, on the very next possession, Napheesa Collier hit another tough jumper, pushing the lead even further. At this point, Reese looked completely defeated. Her body language was terrible, shoulders slumped, shaking her head, barely engaging with her teammates. And with every mistake, her frustration only grew. Immediately after the game, clips of Reese's blunders went viral. The air ball, the fumbled layup, the reckless fouls. Every mistake was being replayed on a loop, with fans and analysts calling her out for one of the worst performances they had ever seen. But the worst part, instead of taking responsibility, Reese doubled down. She went on social media, deflecting blame, making excuses, and even throwing shade at her critics. "Y'all stay talking about me, using my name for clicks. Keep feeding the hype? I love it," she posted. But fans weren't buying it. Collier, a player known for her discipline and poise, kept her composure while Reese spiraled out of control. And then came the ultimate moment of humiliation. Midway through the second quarter, Reese attempted to make a flashy no-look pass, except there was just one problem. No one was there. The ball flew out of bounds. Another turnover added to the disaster. The crowd groaned. Her teammates looked frustrated. And on the other end, Collier calmly sank a jumper, putting her team ahead, while Reese could do nothing but watch. With just seconds left on the clock, Reese had one last chance to redeem herself. She got the ball in the post, tried to muscle her way inside, and lost it. Another turnover, another wasted possession, another moment of humiliation. But Collier, she wasn't done yet. As Reese stumbled, Collier sprinted down the court, caught a perfect pass, and sealed the game with an easy layup. And this time, she made sure Reese knew it. As she jogged back, she stared Reese down, letting her know exactly who had the last word.
Lunar Owls crushed the Rose BC. Napheesa Collier, they are not afraid of Angel Reese and the Rose BC because after hitting the game-winning shot, Napheesa had some real words towards Angel Reese. Got crushed, got destroyed really and truly.
From the very start of the game, Angel Reese came in with her usual energy, talking, taunting, and playing with that trademark confidence.
So Lexi Hull's right here, right? She's going to come out here. She gets the ball, going to pass it into Angel. Look at this, folks. That's Lexi Hull. Wide ass open. Does she get the ball? Angel not only did not pass the ball back out to Lexi Hull, but she missed another freaking layup.
But this wasn't just a bad game. It was an all-out exposure. 7 turnovers, missed layups, reckless fouls. It was mistake after mistake, proving once again that when the pressure is on, Reese can't back up her talk. Therefore, in this breakdown, we're going to expose every brutal moment that led to Reese's downfall and why her embarrassing performance might just change everything for her career. So now, the big question, where does Angel Reese go from here? Does she finally accept that she needs to evolve her game? Or will she keep relying on trash talk and physical play, hoping it's enough to carry her career? Because one thing is clear, if she doesn't change, nights like this won't be the exception, they'll be the rule. And the next time she steps on the court, every player will be waiting for their chance to humble her all over again. She had a fast break opportunity wide open with nothing but space in front of her, a chance to get an easy bucket and redeem herself. But instead, she lost control of the ball mid-stride, fumbled it out of bounds, and collapsed to the floor in frustration. The crowd gasped, the bench was stunned, and social media, it exploded. But there was a problem. She wasn't backing it up. In the opening minutes, Reese attempted to force her way into the paint, trying to use her size and strength to dominate. But instead of overpowering defenders, she kept losing control of the ball, committing careless turnovers that left fans shaking their heads. And it wasn't just 1 or 2 bad plays. This was an all-out meltdown. But instead of overpowering Collier, she fumbled the ball again, handing her opponent a golden opportunity. And Collier? She took full advantage, draining a cold-blooded, game-sealing shot right in Reese's face. The crowd erupted. Reese looked stunned. And just like that, her night of trash talk came crashing down.
3 weeks into the season and Unrivaled is struggling to sell out a studio that seats 800 people?
Angel Reese just had the worst game of her career. And it wasn't just bad, it was humiliating. Reckless plays, sloppy turnovers, and cheap fouls turned what should have been a competitive matchup into a complete disaster. The crowd gasped, the bench was stunned, and social media, it exploded.
Check this out.
I see you miss layups just like they do and everything, but forget them. You know, I mean, I miss layups too. So, I mean,
everybody miss layups, but they can't get mad if I got